This trader turned a March bloodbath into an $8 million April windfall using margin on 2 stocks. Here's where it all began. During the bull run of early 2024, this trader was convinced AMD was going to rocket. So he went all in, leveraged positions, margin accounts maxed out, everything betting on semiconductor strength. But then March hit. The market corrected hard. Tech stocks cratered. AMD tanked with it. Suddenly his conviction looked like delusion. His account was bleeding red. Most traders would have cut losses and walked away. But this one didn't. Instead, he looked at the wreckage and saw opportunity. He was about to make a choice that would either destroy him completely or turn March's disaster into April's fortune. So here's where most traders would have hit the eject button. The AMD position was bleeding. The account was down hard. But instead of taking the loss and walking away, this trader made a choice that would define the next month. He deployed maximum margin into TQQQ right at the March bottom of $40 per share. TQQQ is the triple leveraged NASDAQ 100 ETF. When the NASDAQ moves up 1%, TQQQ moves up 3%. When it moves down 1%, you lose 3%. It's leverage built into the fund itself, and this trader was about to add even more leverage on top of it using margin. The conviction here was simple but dangerous. He believed the tech sell-off had gone too far. March had crushed growth stocks, and TQQQ had fallen to levels not seen in years. Instead of viewing that as a warning sign, he saw it as a gift. So he borrowed against his remaining equity and loaded up on TQQQ at 40. This is the exact moment where the strategy shifted from recovery to all-in conviction. He wasn't hedging. He wasn't diversifying. He was doubling down on the belief that tech would bounce back hard. And he was using margin to amplify that bet by a factor of 3 or more. The knife was down, and he was catching it with both hands. Now here's where the real explosion happened. After locking in gains on TQQQ, this trader had excess margin sitting idle, and in a hot market, idle margin feels like wasted opportunity. That's when AMD came back into focus, but this time with a twist. Instead of buying the stock outright, the trader positioned in AMDL, a leveraged derivative that amplifies AMD's moves. When AMD started climbing in early April, AMDL wasn't just going up, it was accelerating. The trader watched it climb from 22 to 31 in a matter of weeks. On margin, that's not a 40% gain. That's a multiplication effect. A $1 million position on 8-to-1 leverage becomes $8 million in notional exposure. When AMDL moves 40%, you're not making 40% on your capital, you're making 320% because of the leverage stacking on top of itself. That's how April became the month of $8 million in pure gains. The math is brutal and elegant at the same time. Small moves on massive leverage equal life-changing returns. But here's the critical part, this only works when you're right. AMDL from 22 to 31 is a perfect setup. But AMDL from 31 back to 22 in the same time frame would have wiped out the entire account and then some. So here's the brutal math. Conviction plus timing plus margin equals $8 million. This trader had all three in April. He believed in the tech reversal, he timed the entry at the absolute bottom, and he leveraged every dollar the broker would lend him. That's the formula that works. But it's also the formula that bankrupts people. Let's say TQQQ had dropped another 15% instead of rallying. That same margin account doesn't make $8 million, it gets liquidated at a loss. The broker doesn't call you politely asking what you want to do. They automatically sell your position to cover the debt. You're out. Or worse, you owe money you don't have. This trader won because he was right about direction and right about timing. But margin doesn't care about your conviction. It only cares about your account balance. The leverage that multiplied his gains works exactly the same way in reverse. One wrong move, one bad earnings report, one market shock, and that $8 million becomes negative $8 million. That's the part nobody talks about when they celebrate the wins. So in April, this trader turned $8 million in gains by riding TQQQ and AMD through pure conviction and margin. But here's the thing, that same leverage that multiplied his wins can wipe out your account in a single bad move. Before you touch margin, you need to know your actual risk tolerance. Because 8 million up and 8 million down feel very different when it's your money on the line.